morning. Welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Tuesday, June 19th, 2012. Well, here's an interesting story. You read in the papers about the Russian-made helicopters that were delivered to Syria that Secretary of State Hillary Clinton complained about. Well, apparently over the weekend, American intelligence notified the British government that the insurance that had been placed on the cargo of a freighter called the MV Allied, which was traveling from Kaliningrad on the Baltic Sea, which is a Russian naval enclave, to Syria, had been placed by a British insurance company. On the ship, in fact, were repaired and refurbished Russian-made helicopters that were bound for Syria. Upon being informed by American intelligence, British intelligence notified the insurance company, which in this case is the Standard Club, it's a Lloyd's P&I club, who promptly canceled the insurance on the ship because it was carrying war material into an embargoed zone. The ship is now dead in the water, anchored off the coast of Scotland. It's heading nowhere. The helicopters are not returning to President Assad because the insurance cover has been lost on the ship. Melbourne, Australia has been shaken by a big 5.2 earthquake this morning. The quake struck at around 8:55 p.m. Australian time. This is Tuesday. It lasted for about 45 seconds. We're still getting some reports of damages. It seems to be pretty local damages, things falling off shelves and things of that nature. It was substantial enough, though, to attract the attention of many people. In Mexico, down in Los Cabos, the leaders of the world's major economies are on their final day of the G20 summit. European members yesterday were under extraordinary pressure from other world leaders to try to implement a pro-growth policy in the Eurozone. There was a lot of pushback, especially from the Germans. Angela Merkel, the German chancellor, is still publicly adhering to her austerity program. However, the final communique, which has been seen by the Agence France Presse, indicates that there might be some softening. Apparently, the G20 members will agree that should global conditions deteriorate, they then will embark upon a pro-growth policy. Here's the story. In India and Pakistan, up in the border region near Kashmir, there are gun battles going on. Apparently, beginning Monday night, Pakistani troops were firing into Indian military positions across a river that separates the two countries. 2 Indian troops were killed. The Pakistanis have been doing this apparently now for about a week. The Indians retaliated, quote, in a restrained manner to avoid any escalation. Apparently the situation has worsened further because Pakistan has not responded to the Indian call for a truce meeting, which is normally held to diffuse tensions. As you probably know by now, Saudi Arabia has named another old man as its crown prince. This time it's 76-year-old Prince Salman. He's the current defense minister. He's now going to be the heir apparent to the 89-year-old king. U.S. regulators are expanding a probe of power windows in Toyotas. Apparently about 1.4 million Toyotas are now affected by a probe by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. The probe focuses on Camrys, hybrids, RAV4 utility vehicles, and Highlander hybrids. The NHTSA has received 32 complaints about electrical fires or smoke that appears to emanate from the driver's side door window switch. One led to a fire that burned an occupant. And one of billionaire executives, Warren Buffett, top executives, was fired after he held a party on a Bermuda getaway with other senior employees. Berkshire Hathaway owns Benjamin Moore Paints. Its CEO, Dennis Abrams, was fired last week and replaced by Bob Merritt. According to a New York Post article, Abrams was ousted as CEO after word spread that he held a lavish party aboard a yacht in Bermuda. Supposedly the yacht had been owned by Jimmy Buffett, who of course is of no relation to Warren Buffett. Mr. Abrams arranged the trip on the yacht to celebrate the paint company's achieving its first quarterly sales increase since 2007. It was a lavish dinner. Uninvited staff were upset when they saw pictures of the participants at the dinner posted on the internet. They were wondering why weren't we invited. According to the New York Post, last week Berkshire Hathaway officials arrived at Benjamin Moore's offices in New York to escort Mr. Abrams from the building after having canned him. Just for the record, Mr. Jimmy Buffett's boat was nowhere near Bermuda, and it was not his boat. One would think that if you work for Warren Buffett, a man who lives in the same house in Omaha in which he's lived for 30 years, that you would certainly not do anything like this to celebrate your first quarterly sales increase in 5 years. Idiotic. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.